Master dos Anjos, here we are again in the Caribbean, this time Sint Maarten, half Dutch, half French.
Exactly. Now we just rent the car and on our way to the AirBNB right now.
Let's do this. This is the airport, guys, that is famous for the airplanes landing very close from the beach. So we're gonna show you this.
Now I just saw something, I wish I didn't see it. When the airplane leaves, there's a mountain right in front of the airway. So they have to go up right away or it's gonna hit the mountain.
Yeah.
We're gonna record a video and show you later.
Scary stuff. All right, guys, welcome to Sint Maarten. Hi guys, so the traffic here is famously congested. It takes hours to move. And in this tiny bridge here leaving the airport, we just had a crazy experience. Charles, explain. We're gonna show what happened, but try to explain.
Yeah, we're just driving here. We didn't know the motorcycles can go between the car and the middle lane. We didn't know that. So this guy just came up, two guys in a motorcycle, and they just kicked our mirror.
So basically the car was here centered, and he was yelling for me to move the car here so he could cut left. And what did he do?
No, he just kicked it. He drove and kicked it took off.
The mirror, yep. Big kick.
I'm so upset.
So we are here for 5 minutes and this happened. That's crazy. Food, you know, here it's half Dutch, half French. So the French put the baguette here.
Hey guys, we just stopped here at the island by the Carrefour. We got some groceries, and our groceries we look at $98.84, but when we pay the transaction, actually it's not that amount. It is actually $54.94. So there is a difference in currency between US and the money from this island here. So come over. It's cheap and beautiful. Chinese restaurant here, and the name is Magic Chef. He transforms cat and barbecue. That's why there's no cats in the island.
That's the magic trick.
The whole island, there's no cats.
There's no cats.
Magic Chef, his magic trick.
No dogs too, huh?
No dogs either. Nothing. Oh, they're good magicians.
Dinner tonight, Chinese.
That's all we're gonna go, eat some dogs and cats.
Hello. Because he's in the most uncomfortable position he can ever be. It's that simple. So it starts with decision. Okay, I'm not going to play your game here. I'm going to invite you here. I'm going to gain this position. On the hook, we are here comfortable. Okay, now head to the other side, jaw breaker applied, push to the ground, tripod, and I cut the knee. Once the knee touches the ground, you can kick here if you need the help, and you pass. Just disconnect your head when you're ready to do something else, because there's no point in freeing him here if you don't have a plan. Spend some time there. So that's a great discovery that I had by myself like 15 years ago, that it's one of the main moves that all my students use to this day, very successful, because most people don't do this. Okay?
So I'm gonna be on my back. He's gonna be on my half guard. What happened, like some guys are very strong, right? So when I try to put my hand underneath over here, he just gets me flat. All right, so these guys are very strong in this position here. So just look at my feet for now. I'll show my arms later. I'm gonna switch, okay, my hooks. And it looks like I'm gonna do a lock down like this with my foot on my knee, but it's not. My foot, it's open. It's on his Achilles. The other foot, my right foot on his toes, my left foot on his ankle. I'm not crossing, okay, from this position. But it's very important when you do this technique not to let him go backwards. He needs to stay forward. So when I get over here, I lock my hands together. I bring him forward and I stretch my leg. Oh, okay? And I apply the foot lock. Okay, it's an ankle lock done with your feet against his foot. So when we start this position here, right away it's a strong guy, he gets me flat, and the only thing you can do is put my arm here. So instead of like a struggle and try to get out because he's so strong, I'm just gonna capitalize on the position. I'll lock my hands, I keep him close to me, I'll switch my legs over here. Put my foot on his toes, okay, my right foot, my left foot on his Achilles, right below his calf. Now I squeeze him tight so he doesn't go backwards, but if he goes back, neutralize the lock. I'll kick him forward over here. Now just stretch my leg and apply the foot lock. See how my left leg goes forward? Okay, and my right foot just hold the position. So my left leg pushes forward and right foot catches. It's a very simple lock. Of course, some people are more flexible than others, but it works pretty good. Remember, the foot doesn't hurt. You feel that pressure, people, oh, it's not hurting, then it pops, right? So when you feel that pressure, be careful because after pressure, it's gonna pop. I popped my own ankle twice, just talking with you guys like this. It's like, guys, be careful because when you pull your foot like this, sometimes I'll, oh shoot, I just popped mine. Just pulling, you know what I mean? It's like when
Hey Charles, we are here at the Chesterfield restaurant at the marina. We ordered fish. What do you think?
No, mine is a chicken and chicken creole.
I got a mahi here.
Yes, yours is really good.
Look at that. Let's see.
Amazing flavor, lots of flavor, and he also put some sweet potatoes, and that gave it a touch. I love it.
Very cool. My fish is almost gone. Really good too. Watch out, he's coming, watch out! What is your favorite part of coming here every day? What are you looking forward when you do jiu-jitsu here?
When I'm looking forward to doing jujitsu, I feel like I need to get all my anger out, and sometimes it's like really fun, and you sometimes you need to like get all energetic, so like you're not all tired for the whole day, and it's a really nice thing to do, so you can protect yourself. So jujitsu is a really nice thing to do. I really admire jujitsu because um, it's like something that makes me feel like happy, and I know that I'm always protected at all time when I have like all my skills. So and when I the more I do it, like more people come up to me and they're like, oh, how is jujitsu? And I'm like, okay, jujitsu is a really nice thing, you should really try it out. And yeah, it's a very, really nice thing.
What's the most fun thing about doing jiu-jitsu here with Professor Melissa?
I really just like martial arts for a reason. My dad used to be a big star in Bangkok, so I actually try to be like him sometimes.
So you have that to give you a good influence to
Yes.
be a martial artist. That is so
Yes.
cool.
He used to do Muay Thai.
Nice, very nice. So are you doing Muay Thai class too?
No, not yet. Not
But
yet.
you will.
Yes.
What's your favorite animal?
Tiger?
Have you ever seen a tiger before?
No.
What are you gonna do if you see a tiger?
Run.
And you have the highest rank that a kid can attain in jiu-jitsu. How long have you been doing this?
This is my 7th year, so 7 years from now.
7 years having fun training?
Yeah.
Why is jiu-jitsu so much fun?
I just like it because it motivates me, and whenever I get here, because sometimes I feel like I don't feel like doing anything, and then when I finally get here, it's like my spirit is so much more up than usual.
Why jiu-jitsu help you like in your life? Does it make you more confident? What are the benefits of jiu-jitsu you think you have already?
The benefits is that I feel more calm around people, so I know that I can. If they try to mess with me, I know that I'm confident and I can tell somebody, and I learn a lot about myself and a lot about other people and what I can do to for them and for myself.
What is your favorite jiu-jitsu move that you like to do when you're sparring?
Armbar, armbar all the way. I do it every time I'm sparring.
So what are the lessons that you think you learned in the tournament?
Well, I learned that they go very fast, so I'm gonna train harder and try to do it very fast.
Professor Melissa, what can you tell us about Maya and her training here with you? She's having fun, she left, she's back. So talk about her journey with you a little bit.
Maya has a great attitude. She always comes in smiling. She really loves training. She really loves challenging herself. And her when she stopped training jujitsu, you were doing dance, you were doing circus training. So she never stopped. So her coordination kind of continued. So she jumped right back in and has a great attitude. Loves learning. Loves training. Is excited about jujitsu. It's really, really a joy to have Maya back in class.
Very nice. That's great to hear from the teacher. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're here with Nakisha and Mila. You know, blue belt, orange belt, training here at Renzo Gracie Sint Maarten. Let's start with Nakisha here. Nakisha, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
So you're blue belt. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 8 years. This year is going to be 9 years in December. So it's been a part of my life and I love it. Well, jiu-jitsu helped me a lot because I have asthma and I suffered with it so much, so much. But jiu-jitsu helped me conquer it. Like techniques, how to breathe. Coach Melissa was a very impact in my life with it also because I've went up in a pageant and she was my ride or die right there with me and she helped me through it and yeah, Jesus have been there, teach me and showed me how to breathe, um, how to go along with it in my daily basis in life and yeah.
So how do you feel about the confidence jiu-jitsu has given you?
Um, it gave me a lot of confidence. Like if something have to happen to me, I know how to defend myself and how to come out of the situation. I think. Yeah.
Very nice. Very good. So what made you come back?
I just found like jujitsu was the only sports I ever really liked. I tried a bunch of them, but I didn't like them as much as jiu-jitsu. So that's why I came back.
When you're on the mats, what makes it fun for you?
I think it's the sparring, like I don't know. I say that it calms me, especially when I'm stressed and stuff like that, or if I have a stressful day. I know that I can come to jiu-jitsu and it just relieves it. So,
How about this friendship between you two?
um, we go to the same school, so we see each other off the mat a lot. We're in the same class. Um, but I do feel that she pushes me a lot, and I like that because eventually I'll be able to learn from all of that, and maybe one day beat her.
Yes.
So I'm waiting for that day.
Hey guys, I'm here with Professor Melissa Bardfield, Renzo Gracie Sint Maarten, and we're visiting her academy. And it's a very special energy we felt here. The students, the vibe, and that is a product of her personality and experience. So we're going to show you and talk about her history. She has a unique history of someone that went to all the lengths to learn and study Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She's more qualified than anybody I know, actually. And it's an amazing story. Like, it's a true jewel in the heart of the Caribbean that it makes us proud to tell to everybody her story, the story of Renzo Gracie here in St. Martin, so people can come and visit and train. And you go to the beach. Uh, if you're doing, if you're on a cruise ship, pack your gears, guys, because this is special. This is a lifetime opportunity to put your feet on those mats here. This is very special. So, Professor, thank you so much for having us here. And we want to start about your story, how you began with Jiu-Jitsu. So where did this all begin for you?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for coming here and visiting St. Martin. So I practiced another martial art first, and then had the opportunity to work in London. And when I got to London, I tried to find a martial art that was most aligned with what I trained before. So I found Krav Maga. And I did that for about, I don't know, 6 months. And one day they rented from Hadra Gracie Academy, and they on a Sunday or something. So I went and trained, and I copied down the email address and sent an email. And I'd heard of the Gracie brothers. I heard of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I knew it was a legitimate, good martial art, but didn't know that much more about it. Went to my first class and fell in love. Never went back to Krav Maga, and just absolutely fell in love. Had no idea who Hadra Gracie was, but my very first class, we had us starting to run, just as the warm up. And I had a very bad ankle injury. My ankle's actually fused now, but at that point it was, always swollen, very painful. And I was jogging with a limp, and I jogged half a lap, and the professor said, "Hey, Melissa, what are you limping?" I said, "Yes, injury." So why would you be running if you have an injury? Here, use a rowing machine. Whenever we're warming up, just jump on the rower and get your warm up like that. So it's like, okay, this is the kind of martial art that I want to train. And that professor actually was Felipe Souza, who was a black belt under Zé Beleza, and he taught all the kids classes. And on the weekends, the kids classes were right before the fundamental class, my white belt class. And I used to watch these kids training, look like so much fun. They're playing games, they're laughing, they're having so much fun, and they have little handles, you can throw them around. And as soon as I got my blue belt, I was like, "Hey, do you need any help? Can I come early and help with the kids classes?" And that kind of always, training jujitsu with kids was always part of my journey. And when my job, my professional work in London was kind of closing, I decided I wanted to compete in the Europeans. And I had left London, moved back. My mom had a place in Boston, and I started training in New York. But I did the Pan Ams that year, the Pan Ams, the Europeans, the Pan Ams, and then the Worlds. So I just kind of bit the bug of jiu-jitsu competition as a blue belt, and I was one of those crazy, spastic blue belts. I just and training in New York really changed things. So first time I trained in New York, I got put to sleep, and I was like,
No kidding.
this is where I need to train. Yeah.
So that's so special because we can see your passion when you're teaching, regardless. Actually, I saw you teaching the adults yesterday, and you have the same passion that usually people that teach children have when they're running kids class. You have the same energy and passion when you're teaching the adults class. We're doing a little bit of gymnastica natural. We're going to show you a little bit of that with the same enthusiasm. So that explains why, because you were impacted by a good teacher on your first sample of jiu-jitsu. And then you mentioned Zé Beleza. He is the best of the best kids instructors in Brazil. The best jiu-jitsu teachers that work with children came from his lineage. So what else did you learn? Did you actually train with him directly? Did you learn from his courses? So how did you become specialized work with children?
So after I moved back to St. Martin full time, I didn't have anyone to train with. So I started teaching my friends' kids, and it just kind of grew. So I was a purple belt, and I just started teaching, and I was going back and forth as much as I could to New York, especially if there was a competition. I was training in New York and had friends there and family there. And then when I started teaching here, I decided I had contacted Zebeleza, and he was just starting to begin his instructor training program for basically taking his whole system and program for teaching children and teaching that for instructors. So the same week I made the decision to get my ankle fused. So I actually had they cut the bones in half, screw them together because the pain got so much, there was no cartilage. So I made this decision to fuse my ankle and and I decided to do that right after going to Brazil and training with Zebeleza. So I spent, I think it was 2 weeks training with Zebeleza. So I made that decision to go to Brazil to fuse my ankle, and then right before I got my brown belt, and it was like they called my name. I remember Professor Igor Gracie called my name a few times, and I remember like, there's another Melissa who trains here, and like, no, I didn't want to go to Brazil. With like, I was finally feeling good as a purple belt, and I was going to go to Brazil as a fresh brown belt, and so all these things happened. So, but it was fantastic. I trained with Zebeleza in his kids classes, just watched the way he worked with kids. And I remember my very first day, there was a new student who had never done jiu-jitsu before, and just seeing the way he worked with this kid made him feel comfortable and safe and all of his games. So I used Zebeleza's from the age groups that he teaches to his philosophy, to not allowing the parents to watch the class, to doing a promotion ceremony a couple times a year with a big graduation demonstration, and also a big focus on self-defense, especially for the kids, because all of the jiu-jitsu that I had done previously was just sport related, which is way more fun for adults. The self-defense can be a little bit more tedious. It's not as everyone wants to come and sweat and spar. So that very much changed the focus of my training. But using Zebeleza's just the age groups tripled the amount of students, because I had one age group, and then I had two big age groups, and it was just too much. So the way I teach a 5 and 6 year old class is very different than the 7 to 9 year old class, and very different from the 10 to 13 year old class. And what Zay told me from the very beginning is that children, especially 5 to 6 and even younger, they live in a fantasy world. So we have to be able to tie into that imagination the way we teach them. So the jokes and the way I talk to the younger kids class is a very different than the way I'll teach the older kids who want to feel like they're warriors. They want to be, like taught like adults almost. So yeah, I can't thank him enough for everything that he taught me, and luckily enough that my first professors that I learned from, who I was shadowing, learning to teach kids from, was one of his black belts. And then obviously I had Hodja Gracie and Mauricio. Hodja's father was taught a lot of the fundamentals classes, so I got to train with the most amazing professors in an incredible academy. And a lot of the girls that I started with and going up the ranks from white to blue belt, they're all black belts now, which is really,
Very
special.
special.
It's very special, the place that we trained. And I know Hodges moved academies a lot of times, and it's flourishing, and they deserve all the success that they have there in London.
Yeah, you can. We can really see that reflecting here in your school today, and the legacy that. And pay attention. So far, she trained with Maurição, Roger's father, Roger Gracie himself. She went to Brazil, trained directly with Zé Beleza, and she speaks Portuguese. Não fala
Fala um
português?
pouquinho, fala portunhol. Eu acho que se você pega a faixa preta, tem que falar português.
Oh, she just
Tem que
said,
falar.
if you get your black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, you should learn Portuguese. This is the
Yeah.
ultimate experience that will truly feel that way as well. And it's not easy, and we all know. How did you learn Portuguese?
I listen to tapes in my car, so driving, escutando y falando. Like I'm not afraid to speak, to try and make mistakes to speak. But hablo español, je parle français, e falo português. So
Sensational, incredible, sensational. You know, a true martial artist embrace the Brazilian art, the Brazilian culture, the Brazilian language, and that's why we said that she is actually providing here in the heart of the Caribbean the true Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu experience, all packaged, everything you can imagine, you can get right here in St. Maarten. One more thing, Melissa. Then you went to New York, Renzo Gracie Academy, Renzo Gracie himself there, John Danaher. What was like training with these guys?
So when I first started going to New York, I was a blue belt, and I came from a more of a smaller academy, and the girls there were so good. I got to train with Kay Stevenson, who was Renzo's first female black belt, and I went there really with an aggressive jujitsu, and she would just just get. So she really taught me by by kicking my butt of how to calm down. But I trained a lot with John Danaher, and I had the privilege to be able to take private lessons with Danaher. And I have a notebook which is just full of golden notes, which are just timeless because he teaches in a way of systems of that it's not just a collection of tricks here and there. You have a system like triangle system, the back attack system that has a method of entry, a method of control, a method of breaking. The way he taught jujitsu in a very analytical, incredibly cerebral context that anyone can learn. So I'm not surprised whatsoever by his phenomenal success and by his phenomenal athletes. And we kind of joked that we were all competing at the time, but we weren't as good as his, the Danaher Death Squad. So he finally got some talent, and he was always training. George St. Pierre and Chris Weidman and a lot of the professionals at the highest level were aware of his genius. And a big thing that I also got from him is using the Japanese terms to describe things. He used to say like, a surgeon doesn't say, "Hey, give me that sharp, shiny, pointy thing." He says the scalpel, or the mechanic knows the names of your tools. So as an athlete, we need to learn. But I probably put him in a bad mood every time he taught me because he'd be like, "No, your other left, your wrong left." But he has a incredible way of teaching, and his philosophy of teaching helped me a lot with the way I teach the white belt program for new adults, that teaching positional dominance, that they favor positional dominance so that they're not trying to and also strangles, because we want them to have a dominant position and have that mindset. I need to get to mount, I need to get to back, instead of trying to play, go for a foot lock instead of passing guard. And I went through, so I was lucky enough to receive my purple, my brown, and my black belt from Renzo Gracie.
Wow, I told you guys. Look, Maurição, Roger Gracie, Zé Beleza, John Danaher, Renzo Gracie, all packaged right here in the heart of the Caribbean.
I've gotten my butt kicked a lot.
Professora, self-defense.
Yes.
I saw you on Instagram. You teach some self-defense. How often do you teach self-defense, and how you use it on a daily basis?
To be honest, we try and get more women to train by pulling them in with the self-defense, because I think that once they start learning the self-defense, they're going to realize, okay, I can't just learn to have this confidence in myself in just 1 or 2 sessions. It's I want them to train jiu-jitsu. I want to build the women's program. Luckily, I've never had to use jiu-jitsu for self-defense. I believe in the Second Amendment. So if I have to use jiu-jitsu, I've messed up a long time ago. Um, but I think that in learning something difficult, you gain more confidence. I mean, and especially in for women where it's we need that force equalizer, and we need, and I think for my young girls, I want them to be confident in themselves, that they can do something within themselves that they created, not what they look like, not has nothing to do with money or looks or how skinny they are, that they have this confidence in themselves, and then that carries over, so they're less likely to be groomed or to be taken advantage of.
Well, that's awesome. And ginástica natural. Let's talk
Okay.
about it because I saw you doing it, and for the first time I see it, a non-Brazilian person doing it so well. How do you learn it, and how do you practice?
So I first heard about Ginástica Natural because I would read Gracie Mag, and Gracie Mag and Alvaro Romano had, the weekly set. He had an article in all the Gracie Mags. This is back when Gracie Mag was in English and Portuguese. So you asked me how I learned Portuguese. That helped a lot. So Gracie Mag, I wish it was still in both languages. And I had the opportunity in San Diego to train with Alvaro, and I did his instructor course. And at that time, I was really having issues with my ankle, a lot of pain in my ankle and knee and now hip. So I trained with Alvaro a lot, and it helped me avoid having knee surgeries. And he actually came down as soon as I was able to swim after I had my big surgery. He came down to St. Martin, and he did an instructor program for one of my black belts now, Johan, and a couple other people did his instructor program here in St. Martin. So he actually did come down here and taught my kids. So I still use a lot of his animal movements, and it helps me a lot. And the beautiful thing about the gymnastica is when I couldn't be weight bearing on my ankle, I had to learn how to train without the gravity.
Transitioning.
Yeah, because because of the lack of cartilage in my ankle, anything standing was making my ankle more swollen, was much more painful. So learning to do, to train my legs while on the ground and not having gravity was just what I needed. And I think it helps translate so well to jiu-jitsu. Like, for example, we were doing a pendulum sweep last week, and if they can do the gymnastica movement for that, they feel it in their
Over their
hips.
hips,
Yeah, and they understand it. For all of our ground movements, we have to learn to wrestle with our legs to learn jiu-jitsu. And that's something I learned from John Danaher. And the gymnastica is, but you're doing it without a 200-pound person on top of you. So we have to learn these ground movements, like we have to learn how to crawl before we can walk and run.
Right? That's amazing. I watch it. I watch live, and I think everybody should practice ginástica natural.
Melissa, we saw a lot of medals on top of the walls on your office. So talk about these medals. Where do they come from, and what's the current state of competition here in the Caribbean?
So I did a lot of IBJJF tournaments, almost entirely IBJJF tournaments, from blue through black belt. And luckily, as a brown belt, they started introducing masters categories. So I got right back into it as a brown belt. So I competed a lot in masters, and now I can master four. So it's amazing that I can actually fight. Compete. I wouldn't really call it really fight, but have matches with women my age and my weight. And I think for me, being in such a small island, I really felt like I wanted to test myself against my equals, equal belt and rank and age and weight, in the States. And I think for a while, I really was also just trying to prove something. Like, I'm not just like I had to prove myself. And then I think competing started. I was more objective based rather than performance based. So rather than wanting to compete for the love of it, for the love of dominating someone with a kimono, it started to change, and I kind of fell out of love with it. We do a competition every year in St. Bart's. There's a jiu-jitsu school in St. Bart's, which is the closest school nearby, and it's just a short ferry ride away. So we have a nice competitive, friendship with them.
Very cool. That's necessary for the development of the art and the competitiveness of the children. So the children actually go there to compete.
Yes, children and adults. We have gi and no gi. They're a much smaller school. We have a lot more kids, but it's great that we actually can bring the kids, and it's a international tournament, and we've hosted them here as well. Yeah, and competition has always been a kind of a part of my life. When I stopped doing jiu-jitsu competitions, I started doing pistol competitions, USPSA competitions. Now I compete in archery. So I like the measurable you know aspect of competition. I like when you the pounding of your just like it's self-inflicted kind of stress inoculation, and I love it, and I love it for my kids, and I love how they conquered their fears and did it even though they were scared, and they do it. I've seen a huge growth in my students from the opportunity to compete.
You saw the guys, so now we have a reason to come back. People from Florida, next time there's a tournament here, let's rent an airplane and bring a crew, a lot of people here. IBJJF, we need one once a year. Caribbean International Open. Huh?
Actually, we have the French the CFJJB has competitions in Guadeloupe. So this past November, myself, my two black belts, and one of my yellow belts went to compete. So that was my first time competing since 2017. So the last time I competed was right before Hurricane Luis fought in the Master Worlds, lost by referee decision in the finals, and it just broke my heart to not bring it. I think to lose by referee decision is worse than getting submitted, because if I got submitted, she outclassed me. But to lose by referee decision, I just didn't bring it, and it really broke my heart. And then we had a massive hurricane here, Hurricane Irma in 2017. So that kind of changed everything here for the next year. But it's fun. But I know if I'm competing, it's all encompassing, and it's a big time commitment, and it takes it's all in. It's all or nothing for competing.
So your life here in the island, what do you do on a daily basis?
I work in real estate, so property management, as well as running the school. I love shooting archery. I love the ocean. I love going out on boats. I used to do a lot of free diving, but right now archery and entertaining my dogs is really my main social life.
Your mentors, you have a lot of mentors in jiu-jitsu. Can you tell me just a little bit about each of them? What they brought to you?
Well, I guess to start first, Hadra Gracie and Mauricio. I mean, Hadra Gracie was the most humble, powerful athlete. In the first time I did the Worlds, he was the year, I think, 2010, when he submitted everyone by Jujijime, every single black belt in weight and absolute by cross collar choke from the mount, which is just unheard of. And, no celebration. They just be expected. Yes. Mauricio was incredible. Watching the two of them spar and laugh and giggle on the mat was just incredible. The vibe that they had. John Danaher, technically, when I got to New York, was absolute wizard of jiu-jitsu, an encyclopedia of martial arts knowledge, and complete and total dedication to his athletes. I mean, from studying tape. I have a lot of mentors in all aspects of my life. I accredit Amal Easton and Easton Online. They have a great program that we're going through now to having a blueprint of running a successful martial arts school, and that making money is like a key performance indicator. Student retention, having my students progress through the belts, like these are big, performance indicators for my school. And let's see what else I have. My yoga teachers are great mentors. Alvaro Amano, great mentor, and of course Zay Beleza for running my kids. And he's always someone that I can send him a message. He's going to reply. He's going to give me advice. And I think we're just beginning here. I'd really like to see jiu-jitsu be taught in the schools here. So I'm working on a project, on a pilot proposal to teach jiu-jitsu in the schools here because I think it's needed. As I was explaining off camera, we're at capacity here. I don't have any more space in my kids' classes. So I've got to the point here, and all of my kids that train here have parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles who care enough to drive them here and bring them here. There's a lot of kids whose parents who don't have cars, don't have the transportation, and that's where we really need jiu-jitsu. And I really believe that jiu-jitsu is a very special martial art. With as you both know it as black belts, that it's because there's no striking, because there's no kicking. It's more of a chess of the human body, of the emotional and mental benefits of jiu-jitsu are huge and can really help. And I think they can really help the kids here on the island that need it, because crime is getting out of hand, gun crime is getting out of hand.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I really think, but still come here on vacation, not in the tourist areas. We need it here, and I have my 3 black belts here have been training with me since white belt, and we have room to branch out. Jiu-jitsu is just beginning here. I mean, I'm really inspired that jiu-jitsu is a national sport in UAE. I'm inspired by all the social projects in Rio and Sao Paulo, where jiu-jitsu is really helping kids. And I see it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Kids with ADD, ADHD, behavioral issues, anger, that come to jiu-jitsu, and it humbles the bullies and it gives confidence to the kids that need it. I really believe in jiu-jitsu. And I think now as I get older, I'm 48, I'm having less, success with my own body, fighting with my young students on the mat. But I've filled with so much love and from my students who are finding this in themselves, and that my black belts are finding an occupation with this sport. And when Master Renzo came down for our first black belt ceremony, it was really moving to finally show him after 14 years, like, look what we've done and what's happened here. And it's bigger than, I never set out to starting a school. It just started teaching my friends' kids, and I started teaching in a private MMA gym, and then I rented from a dance school. And I would roll out the mats and, shush out all the ballerinas, and we'd roll out our mats and we'd do jiu-jitsu, very similar to Zebale's school in Gavia. And then when this property became available, I took over and teamed up with a fantastic Muay Thai instructor. So our school here is jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. I have nothing to do with the Muay Thai program or how it's taught. I just enjoy it, and, and happy that these kids have more martial arts. So it's growing, it's building, and I'm very happy with the progress that all of my students are making.
We hope to come back here, and we hope to see you in Florida. We have tournaments when you take students, when you compete. We got Miami, we got Orlando. We are just 2 hours away. You will be more than welcome to visit us, and congratulations again. Thank you.
Muito obrigada. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Muito obrigada.
Obrigado. Sint Maarten!
Now lock your fingers in front of him.
This bar here, you have the arrival times. So we have planes right here. Sint Maarten!
That's cool. Everybody.
Brazil! Where are we? Tell the camera, what is this place?
We are right now in Sint Maarten. This is Princess Juliana Airport. This is the airport where all the flights come through, and this is the end of the runway.
Right in the middle.
Yes, sir.
We are ready, bring it on! Oh my god, it looks like it's coming here. Holy shit!
It's yellow and it's sideways because it's very windy. I think it's gonna drop right on top of our heads. Oh my god! It's too close!
Hi guys, Johan is gonna tell us where is the best surf spot in the island. Actually, there's two, right?
There's two surf spots. The first one will be wilderness. But this one, the only way to get there is either taking a boat, a dinghy, or hiking. You have to hike there for an hour. You can do it through the French dump, or you can do it to Arch Marcel. Then the other most popular spot is called Galion. And the Galion, that's where they have the school established. So you can actually go there, park there, you talk to the school, and you can pay kind of like the water taxi. So they just take you with the boat to the spot, you surf your waves, and then they a water taxi. So they have, instead of you swimming all the way deep, because it takes like 300 yards, so you have to, yeah, you take the boat and they drop you there, and then you have fun.
Very cool. So there's snorkeling, scuba diving, surf right here, Sint Maarten.
There we go.
So guys, check it out. We are here at the beach with the airport, but we were able to find parking right here. This is our car. Oh, I'm sorry. This is our car right here between the trash cans. Easy peasy. Park right here. Hey, Charles, same bridge for yesterday after the airport where we got kicked here, but today no traffic.
No traffic, no motorcycles, like with the crazy people kicking our mirrors.
Good weather, nice marina here.
I start to like this place better today, even better than yesterday. Hey guys, we are here at AirBNB, me and Tadeu. I just gave 2 bites on this cheese, and Tadeu, like always, he's on a computer, actually on his cell phone. Hold on.
Normally they do dip in the end, but I had like a few that when I did extra work, thanks to martial arts. I'm doing martial arts since I'm very young. I always put that in my CV, and I work security, bouncer, bodyguard, so they always put me to do this.
Look at this cute place with all the restaurants here in the French side. Because you're a man. Look at that, that is so cool. Bonito.
France right now, guys.
Now, please go to the Netherlands.
Where am I? Where am I? Netherlands.
Hey guys, we are here in Marigot. This is the French side of Sint Maarten. We are going to check the fortress up there. Fort Saint Louis. Saint Louis?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. St. Louis.
St. Louis.
And what else we're going to do this? Check it out. This is a nice marina. We got
We also
some.
gonna go in a French bakery
We're
right
gonna check.
across the street.
We're gonna check the French bakery now. So let's take a walk there. Let's go. Let's see. So Charles.
By the way, we are in France right now.
Yeah, fancy. So, what's the major difference so far between the Dutch side and the French side? You know?
I think the food is a little bit different around here, and there's a difference. It's less people here. The other side is a lot of people there.
Crowded.
Yeah, it's quieter here.
Yeah.
Even so, you guys are hearing some music.
Looks like the French side is better developed. So, what do you think? I don't know.
Yes, a little bit
More
cleaner.
organized.
A little bit cleaner too.
Yeah. So we got some vendors here on the other side. Got some locals having fun here. You know. Yeah. It's a tourist area. So we got the I love Sint Maarten sign. Alright, French bakery right there. Let's see what's up. Charles wants a croissant.
Croissant, a real croissant.
This is it. We're at the Chef Fernand. Let's check it out.
Too diabetic, that's not a place for me.
Very nice. Legit. Let's see. There's cheese there, huh?
Good.
Approved.
Poop on the table.
Oh my god. We're in France now. Charles is going to taste the macaron.
My first original macaron from France, in France. Very good.
Alright guys, we made to the Fort Louis. A lot of stairs.
Lots
Climb.
of stairs.
Let's go.
About 1,000 steps.
I'm gonna show you. já tá tranquilo aqui não. Olha lá que maneira a bandeira, cara. Alright guys, right here at the entrance we see this barricade here, and this is facing the bay, as you can see, and it was possible to forbid invasions by firing muskets through these holes here. Look. It's really cool. First canal.
Olha até do canto pequeno que ela botou na frente.
Ó. Look at the view. This is like a certain death to any ship that try to invade here using this bay. Like if you try to get near the beach, it's certain death. Easy to target. Unbelievable. Well positioned.
Chegar aqui,
E fazer, né?
tá, dá pra fazer. Uma foto minha aqui, fazendo splits muito forte. Vai chegar uma hora que eu vou mais conseguir fazer não, que dá minhas costas. Homo down. Vou puxar essa sala aqui.
Pessoal, estou aqui com o Francisco, proprietário do Captain Frenchy de Portugal, né? Fazendo esse trabalho maravilhoso aqui, ótimo restaurante, excelente comida, parabéns. Francisco, conta um pouco aí da sua trajetória aqui no Captain Frenchy, Sint Maarten, muito brasileiro, americano. Vou chamar a galera para
Hoje
vir
aqui
pra cá.
já faz 6 anos que estamos aqui com o Captain Frenchy e há muita gente que vem aqui a Sint Maarten, americanos, português também, brasileiro. E assim fazemos muita comida também francesa e de outros países e temos sempre aqui de dia, todo dia, 7 dias justamente aberto sempre, todo ano. Nunca estamos fechados.
Não tem baixa temporada.
Não, temos assim.
E sobre a festa, a casa 15 dias, como é que acontece?
E todos os 15 dias justamente fazemos uma festa, começamos a partir das 4 da tarde até a 1 da manhã. Todos os 15 dias, grande festa com muita gente. Às vezes temos aqui ao menos 800 pessoas que estamos aqui.
800 pessoas aqui no restaurante, na areia da praia,
e na
tudo.
praia e tudo, por tudo, exatamente.
Ô Francisco, então nós viemos no fim de semana errado, né?
Claro, claro.
Temos que voltar.
Exatamente. Você
Então tá
tem que ir
bom.
para aqui para ver isso.
Pessoal, vou mostrar para vocês o restaurante aqui.
Muito obrigado.
Merci beaucoup.
E merci beaucoup en tous les cas.
This is the back street of Grand Case, where there are a lot of bars and hotels and AirBNBs. And this is the street behind what we saw at the beach in Grand Case at the French side of Sint Maarten. Hey guys, tip number one when we come to Sint Maarten, don't bring this. They don't like American Express here. Bring a Visa or a MasterCard. The French government closed the fort today for the Jiu-Jitsu channel to do our review of our trip here. So we have the luxury to have the fortress just for ourselves and you.
Yeah, we are here on top of the fortress and empty, just us. And we are about to finish our trip. And we're gonna make some comments about our trip, about both sides of the island, the French side and the Dutch side.
So the goal of the channel now with the BJJ Travel series is to combine Jiu-Jitsu with great traveling experience. So of course, visiting Renzo Gracie Sint Maarten under the leadership of Melissa Bardfield was the objective here, and I think we accomplished the mission. She was a great hostess. We had a warm welcome there to begin. She asked us to teach some moves, and we trained with the students, so it was amazing. So, Charles, what's your feedback about that experience we had there?
No, the experience is amazing. Okay, the reception was amazing. She's a great hostess, and she showed us some of her techniques. Her students, very good students. We watched them grappling, and they can compete anywhere on the planet. She got a good group over here.
Yeah, it's a family school. You know, she has tons of kids. The academy is at full capacity. The only school here in Sint Maarten. And when you have a school full of kids, full of families, you know it's a healthy school. It's legit jiu-jitsu. Of course, it's Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And her story, her sacrifice to learn where she went to seek the knowledge, and her mentors. So it's pretty unique. I don't know anybody that has the same background that she has.
Yes, she trained one of the best of teachers on the planet. Of course, Renzo Gracie, Danaher, Roger Gracie. She has amazing instructors, and that reflects on her accomplishments.
Yeah, Álvaro Romano, she's a Ginástica Natural certified instructor. She learned the kids program from Zé Beleza. You know, he's the king of kids in Brazil. And pretty amazing. I don't know anybody that is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu that have the same background that she has. So this is a jewel in the Caribbean. If you guys are traveling near Sint Maarten, flying or cruising, pack your gear, pay a visit because it's worth it. So Charles, two countries here. We have the Dutch side, the French side. Let's start with the Dutch side.
I like the environment. It's very homey and reminds of Brazil, a lot of Brazil. Okay, and the food is really good. We got the mahi. I got the chicken with vegetables. Great food, and the people there also is very friendly.
Yeah, so it has a vibe of more like any Caribbean country, you know. It's known as the party side of the island because there's a lot of bars, a lot of alcohol,
Lots
a lot of alcohol.
Johnny Walker everywhere.
There are a lot of liquor stores, you know, everywhere. The port is on the Dutch side. The airport is on the Dutch side, so it's busier by
Yes.
nature. But the food was amazing. You know, the prices were great.
Yes, great
know?
price over there.
Yeah, and then traffic, a lot of congestion. So you have to expect sometimes you'll be 30 minutes stuck on the road.
Yes, well, as soon we got off the airport, we got stuck there for at least like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got kicked on the rear mirror.
So this guy, the motorcycle, we didn't know the motorcycles here can go parallel to cars, between cars. So we
Zigzag.
stopped, and this guy came on the motorcycle, and he kicked our mirror, our rear mirror
Trying to
from
push us to the side.
on the left
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
And
With 5 minutes being here in the country.
luckily, it ain't broke, but
Luckily, it's a rental.
and luck of him, we didn't catch him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So luckily, the guy was able to run away. Otherwise,
Otherwise, if you catch him, we'll teach him some jiu-jitsu techniques.
yeah. But besides that, everybody very friendly. It's truly known as the friendly island, right?
It is friendly. It's very busy. So we came here on the low season. So imagine in a high season by the end of the year.
But yeah, we have this episode, but it is a safe island. We haven't seen police here. Nothing weird.
I didn't see one cop.
Yeah, nothing strange happening. Everybody respectful, right?
Yes, everybody, you know.
I think
And
we just had some bad luck with that guy, but
yeah, it was just mishapping. But he got lucky.
he got lucky.
I'm gonna keep repeating that. He got lucky.
Maybe you will watch us.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna watch the channel. And maybe he'll send us a message and try to apologize. Hopefully.
You have 24 hours to apologize. So we are finally going to talk about the French side. This is Marigot, the capital of Sint Maarten on the French side. And what are your feelings about this place, Charles?
Of course, we're in France. We're in France, and France and food walk together. The food here is amazing. We just had some couple meals, and the coffee also is good. So, and one thing I noticed is the food. Okay. Also, this place is really clean. and not so many people like the other side. It's a quieter place. It's a more family place to come over. It's not a party city.
Yeah, no, not at all. So a little pricey. Everything here is in euros, so a little bit higher on the compared to the US dollar side. But the food much more superior for sure. You know, more sophisticated. And I think we agree. If you want to go to an island and have the Caribbean feeling, the Dutch side will deliver that to you.
Yes.
And if you want to go to have the feeling of going to Europe, truly, if you come to Sint Maarten on the French side, you feel like in Europe. Even the police here, they dress up exactly like the police in Paris. So you really feel like you're in Europe.
Yes, and you can see on the houses, the way they build the houses, in both sides is different. That's what I noticed. I've never been in Europe per se, but I can see the house over here.
Yeah.
They're different from the houses on the other side.
Yeah, the architect. I have been in Europe for 3 months in France actually, and the architecture here is absolutely different than the Dutch side. It's an incredible opportunity to go to one island and see 2 countries.
Yes, so I can tell people, hey, I have been 2 different countries other than Brazil and United States.
Charles, how about snorkeling? The experience here, the water. Huh?
The water is good too, okay, just like in the Cayman Islands. And we got a little bit wind around here today, but we still have a good experience also.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You guys will see footage of the drones that we got. The sky is cloudy since we got here, but the water is still turquoise blue. So it's incredible. Without even sunny day, the water is extremely blue.
No, the water is amazing. Anywhere you can go, you can dive.
So a little bit of costs now. We redeemed 2 tickets using points from the credit card.
Yes.
So we came here for free. The Airbnb, talk about that Airbnb, Charles. What can you tell about it?
The Airbnb, amazing location, great price, great view. Anywhere in the island here where you get an Airbnb, you're gonna be in good location.
Yeah, so the place is amazing. We have footage and drone footage too. It's in a cliff with the waves in the water like crashing. It's like a movie scene. And the place is kind of romantic, you know, and we of course we had a 2-bedroom.
2 bedrooms.
But
yes.
when we opened the door, there was like petals of flowers. I think the lady was expecting a honeymoon or something.
I didn't see the flowers. There's no flowers. He's lying about that part. No.
But it was truly beautiful.
Beautiful. Soon you open the door, we see the ocean from the top of the mountain, and it's amazing view. You can see on our video.
Yeah. So when we got here, the forecast was for 3 days of rain and wind, and we kind of didn't get that at all. Huh?
No. It was a good forecast. It's kind of it started to rain a little bit in the morning, but went away
very quick.
Yeah, the wind you can see right now, it's windy. It's about 20 miles an hour right now.
It is windy.
But it's fresh.
Yeah, it is windy. You feel a breeze. Cloudy day most of the times, but the water is still blue.
Yes, the water, it's amazing. You can see behind us how the water looks like. And there's a little bit clouds, but I think it's still amazing.
Yeah. End of the trip, Charles. So back to where everything began. We came here with Johan. He explained everything about the airplane, the airport here.
The airport is right over here.
Right there. You know, everybody's watching. You know, look at the color of this water, man. So we are here by the airport, just waiting for our flight. Johan, thank you so much.
Johan, you are my favorite Mexican man. Hey, anybody here who comes to this island, look for him, okay?
Yeah, he's a great host.
He knows everything.
Very good black belt. Great Renzo Gracie representative.
Yeah, just come over, look for Johan. If you guys like to drink and eat, food and drinks are very accessible around here. They're not expensive at all. So don't be afraid, don't think you're gonna spend thousands of dollars. They have good food and good price.
$25 to fill up the gas in the rental car. The rental car was about $90.
Yes.
For 3 nights, 4 days, right? Airbnb, about $450 with the view that we got.
Yes. No, everybody should come over here.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Flights, use miles, guys, or Fly Spirit, which is very cheap too.
We left from Fort Lauderdale. It was only like a 2.5, 3 hours flight to here.
Yeah, very easy. All right, Sint Maarten, we will be back.
We'll be back soon.